of double D plus women do not enjoy shopping for bras, and 81% of double D plus women are unhappy with the bras available. We need £80,000 to make the 81% of women who are unhappy happy. Last summer, I was shopping in Harrods, and I asked the sales assistant what bras they had available in my size. They offered me these two styles. This one, functional, not aesthetic, not shapy bra. This bra, slightly prettier, not functional, not shapy. As a 20-year-old woman, these are the only two bras that they offered me to have.
Artfix is a brand designed by double D plus women for double D plus women.
Artfix means I lift up, I raise, I excite in Latin. We hope that our bras lift up and shape DD plus breasts beautifully with feminine, beautiful designs, and this will be our USP. Artfix aims to address the three problems in the market: shape. The concave angle of double D plus bras offers limited shape and uplift.
Size availability. Size availability is particularly limited for DD plus bras, especially with a small flat size and a large cup size. We aim to improve upon sizes currently available by providing bras between the sizes 28 double D to 40 double J.
Our route to market starts online at toetlingerie.com. We then hope to pitch to online e-retailers such as Finalists and Probissimo. We plan to open our own store and then become an established international brand. Our first range consists of 3 different styles of bras with 3 pairs of matching knickers. It will cost £46,200 to manufacture bras and £3,225 to match knickers. Each bra has a cost of £5 to produce, has a sale price of £40, so it's a markup of 700%. Each knicker costs 64 pence to produce, has a sale price of £6 and a markup of 837.5%.
Therefore, if all of our stock were to sell at full price, we estimate the revenue for our first range to be £399,840. Therefore, we think it achievable to set ourselves a target of breaking even within the first 12 months of sales.
Women wear bras every day. For 14 years, Brett and I have been unhappy with the bras that we've had to wear. What Lions Den can do for us, it can provide finance to help to hire a designer, our technical designer, go to intermediate and start prototyping our designs.
If Artfix were able to receive funding, it would be one small step for women like us, but one giant leap for womankind.
Just one question, which is about the competitive analysis. You said that this market was very crowded. So what is to prevent a lot of the more established players copying exactly what you do within the first few months?
So my question is, where's the designer in your team, and where are you going to get the designer from?
If it goes well, how much money do you think you need?
Did you know the average time it takes to diagnose someone with bipolar is 10 years? In my case, it took 22 years. Do you know what? I think that really sucks. And I decided to do something about it. 450 million people are suffering from various mental health care disorder, but only 1 out of 5 have access to the care they need. The other 4 are missing out. The Scale Up is an evidence-based, step-by-step intervention guide. It is delivered as a smartphone application in multiple languages. Now, the really good thing with the Scale Up, the real innovation, is that all information can be uploaded to a database. The challenges are even to identify mental illness, to give good quality care, and make sure to follow up patients. Today, when something of these goes wrong, and believe me, they do, we don't even know at what level. Was it a single healthcare worker that messed up? Was it a couple of them, or a whole center, or maybe a whole district or system? The Scale Up can identify and diagnose what is going wrong and where it is going wrong. And then we can do something about it. Very recently, in fact, only 2 weeks ago, OECD came out with a report where they are blaming Great Britain for having a dysfunctional mental health care system. I'm afraid we have to agree with them. 15% out of the whole health budget went to mental health care. That is £20 billion. 150 million of those 20 billion was invested to a specific program trying to improve and increase the access to therapy. Unfortunately, that program failed. 1/3 dropped out, and not even half of the rest improved their health. When trying to persuade the Department of Health to invest 3.5% of that total program budget of 150 million in scale-up, so that we can guide, monitor, and improve the delivery of that very program.
I go back to the original thesis. Why would this app have diagnosed the listening condition any earlier than 22 years, for example?
How are you going to go about selling? Who is going to do the selling? And how do you know that 5 million will be the right price for the customer you mentioned?
To what extent have you considered those opportunities of partnerships, either with not-for-profit organisations and or with other web app developers?
On the terms of if it's going to prompt diagnoses, what's your thinking about how this will be regulated?
In the UK alone, there are over 3,000 museums, galleries, and historic sites. But just because they help preserve the past, it doesn't mean they have to be stuck there. These places are technologically stagnant, and there's a visitor demand for a real shake-up of the way they are accessed for casual, academic, and curation activities. With over half the population visiting museums annually, and 2/3 of them owning a smartphone device, we propose to augment rich digital media onto live captures of real-world objects using a cutting-edge technology known as augmented reality. We plan to develop interactive augmented reality apps similar to what you have on the table in front of you. This can be downloaded by museum visitors, and it'll feature things like indoor position tracking so that you can automatically know where you are. You can overlay multimedia, audio, annotation, any kind of information.
And what most of the competitors do in this area, they use augmented reality technology just to trigger web-based content. So actually it's not much better than scanning a QR code. So our unique selling point is to provide a developed technology which is sophisticated, which would allow you to be able to use it interactively. And we are supported by other museums that have already shown interest, like the Museum for Life Sciences and also the Royal Brompton Museum, and even in Canada, a ULab collection has also said their interest in our product.
For the income structure, the B2B model that will price our contract at £30,000 with a recurrent income per year for the support service of £3,000. This is what's similar to our competitors that are charging and the Golden Museum project experience. For the first year, we have a capital of $70,000 for startup, and that $6,000 will come from our personal savings and $11,000 from the Diane Stand winnings.
On a positive note, I've just been notified that I'll be awarded my PhD. Angela and Liska will be finishing off their master's students, and therefore this is a perfect opportunity for us to start our journey together.
The bit I didn't get was around revenues and the average kind of size of a contract you'd sell in the first year, just to get a sense of what that would be worth.
Could you explain a little bit about how much, as a consumer coming into a gallery, which normally in the university sector is free to enter, how much you would be expecting individuals to pay?
So, can you just clarify that revenue model again, please?
Tell me, is there any intellectual property involved in the either the processing or the searching?
We believe in the power of the arts, and through Artfix we want to change the way art is perceived. We are determined to upset and disorganize art consumption. So if people don't go to the arts, why don't bring the arts to the people?
Artfix makes art affordable, fun and accessible, easy to experience, short and sweet, and available anytime and anywhere. So what can you expect to see in this Artfix store? Actually, any kind of art. Exhibition, installations, theater, music, dance, and film.
Artfix stores will act as a marketing tool for the established cultural organizations and as a taster device for the audiences that can pop in and just enjoy what's happening around the city in short and fun fixes while shopping or strolling in the city. Up to now, we're in discussions with many organizations that we want to participate in our project, such as the Tate Modern, Saatchi Gallery, Google Art Project, Selfridges.
How are we actually going to make money? First of all, through the ticket sales. We'll be charging £5 per ticket for the performances happening at the pit, also through the coffee and refreshment sales, through the merchandise sales for the cultural organizations. The hiring fees will be charging £3 per minute for this exhibition space. This is the space in which both cultural organizations and artists will be exhibiting their work. And finally, we'll be looking for donations, corporate partnerships, and sponsorships.
How we know that our concept will succeed? We have a running Artfix store in Athens, Greece for the last 3 years with an annual growth of 30%.
Our ultimate goal is to have an scalable business model that will allow us to create Artfix stores in different neighborhoods across London through a franchise model. So try to think about Artfix as an Starbucks, but instead of like bringing coffee, we are just bringing the arts to the people.
In order to be out there, we will invest our own capital of 20,000. We have found 20,000 from business angels, and we need 10,000 more in order to construct the actual store. So we need your help in order to be out there next month.
So this is just some quotes and feedback that we've been getting like from organizations and individuals that we've been approaching. And it's this great support, the one that really makes us believe that Artfix is not only an idea, that Artfix will become a reality. So if you really want to have more life in your everyday life, this is your chance to make it happen. Thank you very much for your time.
There are hundreds of free galleries in London alone, so why would people bother to go to Artfix where they have to pay?
And I just wondered whether that was a price that you had identified from your experience in Athens and sort of how the prices compared.
Or why is 30 minutes the right time and not, say, a 10-minute production and then 10 minutes later you run the thing again, etc., and you turn the audience over? I mean, what's the best way of optimising the revenue?
It sounds like you've got proof of concept from Greece. Can you just say a couple of anecdotal stories about that experience and why that excites you about why it's going to work in London?
So you might have heard last year of the patient who was pregnant and had her ovaries cut out when the surgeon was trying to remove her appendix. It was a tragic case and she died. And you might think it was an isolated incident, but it was not. In fact, 1 in 200 patients going under the knife suffer a preventable death in the NHS and other healthcare systems. And the largest reason for this is inadequate surgical training, partially because training times have been slashed across Europe. Now, the biggest solution is to train surgeons on simulated human tissue. And the entry product to this that the majority of people train on is simulated skin. The problem with it is twofold. First of all, it's extremely expensive. Now, I'm an aspiring surgeon, and I tried to buy one of these, and it was simply too expensive for me to buy. The second thing is, they're so unrealistic that they don't provide an immersive and realistic experience to actually get proper skills acquisition. So Biomorph is our solution. It's an advanced human tissue simulation. It's extremely realistic. It behaves just like skin should, and collagenous tissue should, when you put a suture through it, when you cut it, when you tease it, and when you make blood vessels out of it. And importantly, it's very cost effective. It's cheap to manufacture, and you can use it multiple times.
And looking into the future, the market also looks quite promising, with projections suggesting that over the next 3 years, it will double in size from 1 billion, which is estimated at the moment, to nearly $2 billion US dollars. We are already negotiating our first partnerships with surgical interest groups. We will be presenting these in March to an audience of 800 junior doctors and training surgical trainees. In terms of the institutions, we are signing validation partnership deals, which we're hoping to convert into our first initial orders. And at the same time, we'll undergo the procedure to join the target supplier list for all the major teaching hospitals in London and the rest of the UK.
So how Lines then can help? We're ready to start straight away, and all we need is just startup costs to begin scaling up our manufacturing.
Can you break down the unit manufacturing cost for the product that you're going to sell? In other words, how much profit are you making on it?
Talking about your price being £30, yet one of the things that came across quite strongly in your presentation is that actually what you are selling is a better product. So I'm just wondering if there's a bit of a disconnect there.
Can you talk a little bit about the manufacturing? Do you have that in place? Do you have someone who can make this for you? What about the sort of capital versus unit cost, that volume sensitivity?
Currently you can make 100 a month at home. And if you sold all 100, how much revenue would you generate?
Is this a hobby business, or is this going to be something which could be scalable?
The last decades have seen an explosive growth in the market for contemporary art, high-end design, and associated creative products. Swimming with this current, online curated portals like fancy.com, fab.com, and etsy.com are prospering from increasing demand for something special, artful, and authentic. However, these portals do not fully exploit the potential of this development. Crea Select is an online platform facilitating retail and engagement within a community of people, artists, and creative businesses. Here's the way it's going to work. Crea Select partners with independent artists and creative businesses, promoting their products via our online channels. We will create interesting background stories and exclusive offers and present them to our followers, who then can purchase an offer via our website and collect the item with the partner. Our partners receive exceptional promotional value by being associated with our brand and reaching a high number of potential customers. Our followers receive a weekly dose of chocolate treats and exclusive offers. On our part, we will generate revenue via two streams. First, commission from sales and premium membership fees from the most devoted of our followers.
We will prepare our launch by attracting attention via social media and by establishing relations to our business partners. Then we will launch and promote our commercial service to obtain a large group of loyal followers. And finally, we will upgrade our website and expand our services while keeping to the core values of Crea Select. Our estimated weekly revenue in the second year of business amounts to almost £24,000. This means that our annual revenue already will be roughly £1.25 million. So, with the prize from Lions Den competition, Crea Select will change the commercial landscape, presenting a new way to sell and engage with art and other creative products. Thank you very much for your attention.
What you think is going to be your biggest challenge or the most operationally complex part of your business?
How many suppliers or artists would you need to have out there to be able to who you've curated and presented and who've got limited edition stuff for you to be able to do that kind of business?
Potential customers in London are bombarded by similar kinds of products and services and offerings. So why don't you go somewhere else to do it initially?
How many followers do you think you need? How often do you think a follower is likely to buy? What expenditure do you think they're likely to expend every time they buy? And how are you going to keep them engaged in between their purchases?
Importantly, dementia is much, much more than the commonly understood loss of memory. Debilitating early warning signs related to perturbed vision and controlled hand movements are increasingly recognized as some of the earliest manifestations of the disease, occurring well in advance of memory impairment. This is captured in the central image here, as an individual in the mild early stages of dementia struggles to faithfully reproduce the time when asked to do so by hand. Dementia represents one of the greatest economic and medical challenges of the 21st century, as evidenced by the recent G8 summit on this issue. 1 in 3 individuals aged 65 and over will succumb to its fatal effects. This bleak state of affairs is compounded by the fact that we've got no way of detecting this disease until the latest stages, and this is too late for us to intervene therapeutically. We strongly believe that our idea, Cognit Tracker, a new self-monitoring health app, offers a viable research-led solution to improving the early detection of dementia. How do we plan to go about achieving our overarching goal? Well, firstly, we aim to target the growing number of smartphone users and the increasing popularity of the health apps market. The second aspect of our proposal lies in this area here of biomarker research and the high-tech approaches currently being adopted by initiatives such as NeuroTrack and Cambridge Cognition in the pursuit of early disease measures or biomarkers of dementia and related conditions. Our niche lies in bridging the gap between these two different aspects by providing a health app which adapts and integrates multiple tests currently being used in the research field into one product for the health app market. But the next phase of this project is what really excites the Cognit Tracker team. That is, with user permission, we plan to assimilate the performance of our users into a research database. In the future, we plan to explore trends in this vast data set, which is globally representative, to see whether there are unique signatures related to performances on these tasks, which may indicate signs related to dementia and other neurodegenerative related conditions. In terms of revenue streams, we envisage two direct incomes from the app. Advertising sales from individuals who download the free version of our app, and monthly fees from subscription users. Long term, as our research database builds, we envisage business-to-business sales as interested parties begin to mine our data set. So, in summary, we believe that Cognit Tracker will empower individuals to monitor their own health, with the potential of using this information to tackle the pressing problem of dementia disease detection in its earliest stages.
Could you talk a little bit about your competition?
If you identify using the health app that you are potentially at risk of developing dementia, where do you go with that? Because what concerns me is that actually it could lead to widespread panic, quite frankly.
How do you get your partnership with the NHS? Because the NHS is huge, bureaucratic. You know, I wouldn't know where to start personally.
If you had dementia, this marketplace isn't going to be driven by the worried well. It's also unlikely to be driven by the worried sick, because a lot of times people that have early stages of dementia don't actually realize they've got early stages of dementia. So won't the purchase of this app have to be motivated by a third party?
This project is about making mindfulness training available in higher education in a meaningful, sustainable and cost-effective way. So we know that there are really high levels of stress and anxiety in the student population, and universities actually struggle quite a lot to support students adequately. One thing which might help with this is mindfulness training. Mindfulness can kind of be understood as a psychological construct which includes present moment awareness, acceptance and non-judgment. And the way it works is it helps people become more aware of their thoughts, feelings and emotions in a gentle sort of way, and provide them with the headspace to kind of step back, look at those, and choose how they want to respond to things rather than just reacting automatically. I've been approached by universities in Canada, Australia, Germany, and the program's recently run in France. However, those issues relating to the logistics and cost of delivery still remain. And it's those issues that I'm looking to address with the development of a fully online model. I've secured free e-learning advice from a leading Scottish university. I've found a platform that can host the material, and the platform is compatible with Moodle, which is the online platform most universities use, which is fantastic. I've also found that I don't actually have to hire an IT person to create these learning resources. I can do that myself with a combination of input from the e-learning technologists and some fantastic software that's available. And year one you can see is a development year. So that would include sort of 6 months of pilot testing and the initial rollout. And what you see here are slow and steady increases, not just in revenue, but more importantly, reach. When you look at the number of students that could have access to mindfulness training that perhaps otherwise wouldn't. So working with my contacts, but more importantly, really putting students at the heart of this. So making the product available to student unions, student clubs and society, getting their feedback, finding out what they want, what they like, and generating a demand for this internally. And that does more than market the product. That actually serves as a first step for engagement once the university would actually buy the license.
Have you identified an analog product that which has the same sort of price point and reach in the sort of university segment that you can say is a good example for me to follow? Do you have any precedent out there in a different favor?
What makes this specifically tailored to students as opposed to anybody else? Yeah.
You've spoken about your revenues at 12k in year 1, 72 in year 2 and 110 in year 3.
Yeah.
What cost do you have?
What is your plan for sustainability of the business? Because I didn't get a real sense of, as technology improves, as our understanding of mindfulness improves, how your product or service will be adapted.
The judges deliberated, we thought for a long time, and then we decided that the most uplifting pitch was Atolo. The winner of the best idea is Cognit Tracker. We recognise that some people are creating businesses which are going to go forth as commercial enterprises. Other people are making things where actually the first motivation isn't commercial, the first motivation is social. And rather than award a prize to those people, we're awarding an award which is going to help them create their social enterprise, it's going to help them bring forward their businesses, and it's going to help develop them as people. First, we have Acorn Aspirations. Now, Acorn Aspirations is an educational crowdfunding platform that nurtures an entrepreneurial mindset in school children to create the next generation of confident, enterprising, and inspiring people. Now, Hack Public Health aims to address major public health issues through better targeting and delivery of health and lifestyle information. Now, MindTorch is an enterprise that helps life science and medical students gain an insight into real careers through quality interaction with experienced mentors.
I think it's an amazing competition, and I think it's a breeding ground for young entrepreneurs to come and test their ideas, get feedback from the judges and the audience, to kind of get the support they need before they actually launch their business in the real world.
It taught us so much about business, and it brought to our attention things that we wouldn't have thought about otherwise.
And it's been kind of a really good support system since September when we've been attending the workshops.
That was an amazing time. We've been through a lot of hard work. We literally skipped Christmas.
And it's so great that they support an after system, so there's going to keep on being support for us, so that's great.
It's really exciting to find out how we could take an idea that we had from our field and learn more about the business side of it and what we need to do to bring it to market.
I think my top tip would be, if you have an idea, definitely put it out there and speak to as many people as you can.
Do it. And if you're not sure about it, just go to the workshops and see what you think.
Even if you don't have an idea, there's no harm in trying and going to the workshops and meeting other like-minded people and coming up with an idea together, because together you can really build an idea and bring it to the stage, and you never know what could happen, right?